Welcome back this week, everybody, to Doing It with Styles. I have a very special guest today, and we're going to be talking about a very special subject. And I'm going to jump right into this. My guest today is Charlene Sher.
You got
right?
it. Mm-hmm.
And Charlene, you're here because you are you have this play. It's called Kinder Transport.
Yes.
Okay. Could you tell us about that? What is that?
Well, Kinder Transport happened in 1938, just before the outbreak of World War II, when 10,000 children were sent from Germany largely to England largely. Most of them were Jewish, but not all. They were sent by their parents because they feared the outbreak of war and they wanted to save their children. Now,
But and these children were, in a lot of cases, sent all by themselves.
they were sent all by themselves.
They didn't have, their aunt or uncle or mom
No.
or dad escorting them.
Not
They
at
were
all.
just
By themselves. And this play, called Kinder Transport, written by Diane Samuels, who's a British playwright, tells the story of one such child who is 9 years old at the beginning of the play. It's not a true story about a particular child, but her story has been duplicated many times
Right.
in other children's lives.
Right.
And
It's kind of a conglomeration of many stories of many of the children that's kind of focused on.
It's a particular story that has happened to many children.
Right.
I didn't know that. I read up about them when I read the play, and I found that this particular story was not uncommon. And I found it fascinating. And I don't know about you, but I think the world's gone mad at the moment. People are polarized. They are completely desensitized by what they're shown on TV on a regular basis. And of course, being Jewish, I'm very aware of the rise of anti-Semitism in the world and this country. And this play deals with a lot of that. As I say, it ignites the mind by touching the heart.
Right.
And I think people need that. I wanted to do something to bring people together of all communities, of all persuasions, because I felt once you can get people to feel and be sensitized again, they connect
Right.
with each other. So that's been my goal. The ticket price is minimal, because I'm not making, in fact, everything we make is being given away. Every bit of profit is going to Holocaust education and other kinds of education like that. I am doing this for the community. I've had wonderful support from the Mormon Church. They bought 45 tickets for opening night. I've got Jewish organizations. I've got just all kinds of people coming together, and it's been remarkable.
That's great. Young people today, there's so much of our history that
Exactly.
they're not really being taught in the schools. A lot of it is being brushed over. I mean, I'm old enough to have experienced a number of people who were Holocaust survivors when I was younger.
Right.
And so, hearing and seeing some of their stories firsthand, it's hard for young people today to understand the seriousness and the impact and the similarities of what was happening then to what's happening in our country now.
Absolutely.
And so I think that this is a great thing. This is going to be November 3rd, 4th, and 5th?
November 3rd, 5th, and 6th.
5th and 6th,
It's
okay.
Thursday night, Saturday night, and Sunday matinee.
Okay.
I want to tell you something real
Please
briefly.
do.
Ever since I decided to do this, things have been dovetailing, making me realize this is what I have to do. First of all, I have a friend that I speak to maybe once a year. She is not Jewish, and I'm saying that for a reason, and she lives in Cincinnati, Ohio. When I started to want to do this production, I get a WhatsApp from her out of the blue. She said, Charlene, I think you might be interested in this. She said, are you familiar with Paddington?
Yeah.
I said, well, yes, I know Paddington. She said, well, behind is the history. What does it say? It says that Mr. Bond, Michael Bond, who was was wandering through Reading Station in England during the late 1930s, saw these children with their tags on. And he took pity on them, and him and his wife had a number of them over for dinner on occasion. And the children used to cry because they missed their parents and didn't know where they were. 20 years later, he decided to create Paddington, and he remembered the children. So Paddington's got his tag, just like the Kinder Transport children, and it says, please give this bear a home. And I said to her, you're sending me this while I'm trying to do that. It's divine intervention. I've got to do it. And so much has happened like that.
That's awesome.
Including the Mormon Church, who said to me, this is not happenstance. It's meant to be. Things are dovetailing in so many circumstances. I cannot begin to tell you. So, good, bad, or indifferent, it's going on.
You could not do this at that point.
That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
You had no choice.
And you know, the cast that we've got, you've got pictures of them, and you'll show them later if you like. We've had people drop out and fall by the wayside. I thought, this is going to kill me. But the cast we've got are wonderful. Everybody involved, it's not just about themselves and about what they're doing. It's a combined effort. I've never seen anything like it. I've never been in a production where everybody's helping everybody get to the end goal. People have dropped out of the sky. We had a stage manager, kind of a stage manager for a while, and then we let them go because they really weren't up to. Somebody dropped out of heaven who's not only a stage manager, he's a production manager, he's building our sets, he's just unbelievable. And I don't know, divine intervention, that's all I can say. I've got to do the show.
Well, when the universe starts putting you in a certain direction, you got to follow.
I absolutely agree.
And where is this going to be at?
Okay, it's going to be at the Adelson School, which is on Hill Point, 9700 Hill Point. It's in their theatre.
Give us a geographical area where that is.
It's in Summerlin.
Okay.
It is. It's in the Summerlin area. It's close to Hill Centre Drive, which is near all the Del Webb and senior communities, so it's quite accessible.
Yeah.
And it's, I say, it's a 90-minute play. There's no intermission. It starts 7:30 on the Thursday and the Saturday performance, and 2:30 on the Sunday matinee performance. And we have a very talented cast. And I think it will promote discussion. It's not an easy play. It's not an easy life. This young girl arrives in England, and there's no one to meet her. She's 9 years old. She doesn't speak English. That happened to lots of them.
Yes.
She gets taken in by a Gentile woman, quite different, completely oblivious of her upbringing. All of the righteous Christians that helped out at the time and have a huge place in history. And the struggles this child has, and then she keeps begging her to go to the station to wait for her parents. They promised they'd be there, and years go by, and of course they don't. Eventually, she decides, in order for her to survive, she's got to sever her roots and blend in where she is. Much later, when she's 17 years old, her biological mother arrives from Europe, and there is some huge drama.
Yeah.
And that happened to a number of children. And I found that fascinating, to see how far someone can go before they say, I can't anymore. This is where I'm at. This is what I'm going to do. And people will find it touching.
My question on this, and having heard what you just said, are you going to be supplying the tissues, or do we have to bring our own?
I think you have to bring your own. I've had a daunting task. Not only am I producing this play, I also have a part in it. So I see it from every perspective, but it's very rewarding, and I think the audience will get a very good insight as to what the struggles were for people at that time.
That's it's a fascinating time. It's a horrible time in our history of the world itself.
Sorry, you did mention something that I want to take one step
Please.
further. You mentioned children. That is my focus. I'm trying to get as many young people, because they're so sadly ignorant of historical past. And I want them, any youth groups that you know about, hear about, please inform them. They don't even have to pay. If they say Charlene said to come, they can come in and watch. This is not for us to make money. It's something I want to do for the community, to try and bring us together, and I really want to educate the young people.
Have you talked to any of the schools or the school district, or?
I have people putting flyers out in schools.
Yeah.
I've tried to get them to bring groups together. It's difficult at this time for them to organize transport and that, so I'm just hoping that there might be grandparents listening. Tell your grandchildren, tell your children.
This is after these 3 performances. Are you planning to continue this at some future time, or are
So
you?
many people have asked us to do this. Maybe we'll take it to some schools.
That was my thought.
In a sort of in a shortened form, or it's something I might have to consider, because people have asked.
Yeah.
And I think young people will identify with the young girl in the show and see what real struggles are.
Yeah, we pretty much got it made. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
We're spoiled. We're spoiled rotten, and I've said that when children turn about 11, 12, 13 years old, they should be shipped off to another country. and I mean, not, but
Yeah.
I mean supervised. In other words, that was the point of the foreign exchange students.
That's right.
But I think that if we did that on a larger scale, so that we got exposed to different cultures and different people, because we're all the same.
Absolutely.
No matter where you go in the world, I found that, hey, we all love our families. We want what's best for them, and we want a good life for them. And
Yes.
we forget that so often. So.
Oh yes, I want to encourage anybody and everybody who has children and grandchildren to please make them aware of it. This is something they would really enjoy seeing.
So we have about 2 weeks.
Oh God, don't tell me. Really, 2 weeks?
Well,
oh dear. Oh dear.
A little more than 2 weeks.
Yes.
But that's plenty of time to get the word out there.
Oh yes, and I hope so.
We will of course do what we can do.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
What was the hardest part of putting this together for you?
There were a number of difficult parts. One was getting the actual theatre, then getting the theatre that perhaps doesn't have everything we want in it to put on a show. We have to compensate for that. It is a school theatre, it's not a theatre.
Right.
Getting the rehearsal space to do it in. Getting actors together ultimately. We've chopped and changed around along the way. The whole thing has been a challenge, but somehow it just felt natural, and who we have in place are such wonderful actors. Truly, I'm so grateful to them all for everything that they give and put towards the script, and I think we're going to have a pretty strong show. It's not an easy show to watch, but it's something that's real. It happened. Not everything in life is
that
Disney.
Usually is the hardest part. The people that are involved in this, your actors.
Yes.
I'm looking at the pictures that you have here, and they all look to be adults to me. Is that the case? They are.
Oh no, she's young.
Oh, okay. Yes, I see this picture here. Got it,
she
right
is
here.
young.
Okay.
And
Is
here
she
you
the
look,
main character?
She is the main
Okay.
character. She is. You'll watch her
Gotcha.
transform. In one scene, she's young and 10, and like the next scene, she's this 15-year-old, and the whole demeanor, 16-year-old, and she's remarkable. She's absolutely remarkable.
And what is her name?
Her name is Ashley Grubbs.
Okay.
And she's done television, she's done a lot of things, and she is quite remarkable young actress. We're very lucky to have her. I watched the one who plays her German mother.
Got you.
For the longest time, and I don't know that she'll stop, and maybe she won't. When it comes to her scenes at the end, she can't not cry. She's just totally overwhelmed.
Well, especially if you, I mean, it's one thing to be in a play, but when you know that this is history, this is real, this isn't just somebody's made-up story.
No.
You know, I mean, yes, it's a made-up story, but it is
Based on other people's
it's
real
what
stories.
happened.
Yes, yes.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. And if you're interested in coming, we've got one under your name anytime that you
I
want
will
to.
absolutely be there.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yes,
well,
absolutely.
you'll just, your name will be there,
Thank
and
you.
you'll have one for sure.
And I will
would
try to
love
bring
to-
as many people as I
Oh,
can.
that would be wonderful. The tickets are minimal. They're $10 for seniors and $20 for those that are not. And those that can't afford it, you come on in. You say,
Yeah.
Charlene said, come on in.
Okay.
Because it's for us. That's what I want.
And I would encourage all of you out there, you know, if you work with any youth groups, I know
yes.
I have some teacher friends out there. Please help us spread the word. Get a hold of me here. If there's anything I can do to help you, excuse me, to help you help your group get there, we'll certainly do that.
Should I just say one more time where it
You
is?
can say anything you want
right.
for as long as you want.
It's at the Adelson Theatre, which is at the Adelson School, which is 9700 Hill Point Road. The performances are November 3rd, 5th at 7:30, and November 6th, which is the Sunday matinee, at 2:30. The show runs 90 minutes, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Will there be popcorn? No.
No, I don't think so this time, because there's no intermission.
No, I understand.
Yes. And, I must tell
What?
you, do we have time for one more thing?
Yes, we absolutely do.
I'm looking for props for the show. Have a drink of water if you can.
I'm trying.
I'll
Thank you.
join you too. Why not?
I got this from my uncle.
I'm looking for props for the show, and I wandered down to the swap meet on Decatur, and they have a new section at the back called Vintage. And I walk in the door, and I didn't bring it with me today because I walk in through the door, and the very first thing I see, talk about serendipity, on the right-hand side, in a glass ashtray, is a beautiful, brand new, mint condition Paddington. Paddington's lying there with just perfect mint condition with his tag, his label. So I picked him up and I put him in a little display box, and he's going to be at the ticket office as you come in. You'll see, and the description of him will be in the playbill.
Awesome.
I mean, things like this have been happening every day.
I know.
Unbelievable.
And the thing that I find amazing about situations like that is that most of us know that kind of thing happens.
Yeah.
But yet we're still amazed and surprised when it does. You know, I mean, I expect those kind of things every day. You know,
Yes.
It's just my whole life. It's just, you know, whatever I've needed or whatever, it's been there. And it's still, every time it happens, it's like, wow, that's so cool. you know? So
Well, this is it. It's just reinforced that in spite of all the obstacles, and there have been plenty, I'm just...
anytime you get more than 2 people together to work on a project,
You got it.
there,
You got
there
it.
you go.
Absolutely. Well, I really hope that people will support it. It is for them.
There's also, is there not a, there is
If they want to buy tickets.
Yes.
If they want to purchase tickets, they go to jewishnevada.org/kindertransport. jewishnevada.org/kindertransport.
Now, are you holding fundraisers to maybe continue this project, or is there a...
The money that I'm raising is going to education.
Okay.
It's going to education, Holocaust
About the
education, and yes, and to help other seniors in Jewish family services who maybe are Holocaust survivors and such. Yes.
Okay. Anything else that we didn't cover yet that you want to make sure we get out
Thinking
there?
I've got it all. Just tell everybody and come. We have sold already hundreds of tickets. So things are looking good, but we need everyone's support. We want to fill the seats. So please tell whomever you can, especially the young people. I'd love them to be present and to see the production. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. You guys know what to do. You can contact me here if you need to. I'll provide any information. I'll get you all of Charlene's contact information. We'll have information about the play. And Jay and Ann, I want you to give me a holler and see if we can get some of your groups of kids in to see this as well.
Wonderful.
So, Charlene, thank you so much for coming in. And
Thank you.
This is we need more of this. Okay.
Thank you.
And you all know, if you're going to do it with styles. Thanks.